Good morning, awesome Niners. Right, buddies. Still carrying on with our online learning. I'm excited. It's going to be amazing. And today, we're going to keep doing our percentage unit, which is really, really good. You're going to like this unit today because actually, for the first time ever, I'm not going to reduce the amount of work that you have to write. You can pretty much get these things in only one step and still get full marks on tests and stuff, so it's really cool. So in your books, everybody, please put the title Percentage Increase and Decrease for me, please. So do that now. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. Essentially, you can see the two questions that I've got on the board here. The first one just says increase 50 pounds by 20%, which is really good. I bet you most of you could do that mentally, right? 10% is 5, so 20% is 10, and so 10 plus 50 is 60. So the answer should just be 60 pounds. No problem, right? So why would I teach you a different method? Same deal here as well. $800, and you want to increase that by 12%. Even that, I think you could do in your head, buddies. What do you think it is? Does anybody come to the answer before I do? I'll bet you could do 800 pounds increased by 12% mentally. Yeah, because 10% would be equal to 80, which means that 1% would be equal to 8, which means 2% would be equal to 16, and we're going to reduce this amount by 12%, which is these two together, so we're going to reduce it by 96, which means it's 800, take away 96, which is going to be 704. So that was a bit more of a faff, but anyway, that's what we're at, right? That's where we're at. Okay. Here you go, my buddies. I'm going to teach you how to one-step these in a calculator, and that's going to be really good, really efficient, and actually, what I'm going to show you right now, it's called a percentage multiplier, and it is one of the most important things that's not seen just in maths, but in business and in finance and everything like that. This is how interest rates work, buddies. This is its primary use, it's interest rates and things along those lines. So let's do it. Here we go. Increase 50 pounds by 20%. You already know the answer 60, but let's do this in a different way. Here's how you do it in your calculator and with using a multiplier. Okay, here we go. Increase it 50 pounds by 20%. To start with, we've got 50 pounds, okay? What percentage of what we have is that, if that's everything we have to start with? That's right, it's 100%, right? Because if you have 50 pounds in your pocket right now, and it's everything you have, it's 100%. But the thing is, we're going to increase it by 20%, so we're going to add 20% to that. And so while you can't add the 50 with the 20, you can add 100% plus 20%, because both of those numbers are already percentages. So what is 100% plus 100 or plus 20%? Well, of course, it's 120%. Now, that's cool, and that's okay, but the calculators, some of them have a percentage button, some of them don't, and the percentage button works differently depending on the brand of calculator that you have. So we've got to have a shortcut way of doing this that doesn't use the percentage button. And here's what that shortcut is, buddies. Turn the percent into a decimal. How do you do that again? Well, what are percents out of? Well, out of 100 should be kind of the full amount is 100%, so we're going to have to divide this by 100. 120% divided by 100 is just then 1.20, or just 1.2 if you rather. And so, see that number right there, buddies? That's called a multiplier, and that's your very first ever multiplier, you lucky ducks. Check this out then. One step in your calculator, because you won't have to show this calculation I've just shown here. The one step in your calculator to write down and put in your calculator is this. All you're going to do is this. You're going to go 50, the amount we started with, times it by the multiplier, 1.2. Yeah, 1.2, 50 times 1.2. And of course it would just be multiplied by that because it's called a multiplier after all, so you do multiply by it. Let's work it out. I hope the answer is 60. 50 times 1.2. Oh, like a boss, buddies. 60 pounds, and that is your final answer. So pretty much, if ever you needed to work out a percentage, say at a shop, or anything like that, you can just use this sick method to increase and decrease stuff. Because if ever it doesn't tell you what a sale price is, but it says that something's 20% off or something, you can use that method there too. So all you have to do for these questions is write down 50 times 1.2 so that I know that you figured out what the multiplier was, and then the answer. So they're one step and they are a calculator job, okay? Sweet. So how about this one here? The one that was harder. I think it was 704, the answer. I think it was. I'm going to put it in a bracket up there. I think the answer was 704. Well, let's see if we can use the same exact logic to figure out how to do a percent decrease. Well, we start with $800. Well, what percent is that if that's everything we have to start with? That's right, it's 100%. Now, we're going to decrease this time the 100% by 12%. So, if it's a decrease, we're going to take away. So we'll take away 12%. And what percent will that leave us? That's right, 88%. So we'll have 88% left, okay? So if we decrease 800 by 12%, we'll still have the 88% of it left. So next step is turn it into a decimal by dividing by 100, not 0.88. And that, buddies, again, is called our multiplier. Well, what do you do with multipliers? That's right, you multiply, buddies. So all you have to do is take your 800, times it by, not 0.88, and we should get that really hard calculation that we did at the start of the lesson. We should get it to work out straight away. So let's see, 800 times 0.88 equals 704, like an absolute boss. Look at us flying through this thing. $704 like an absolute boss. Boom. What's in the yellow box there is all you have to write down to get full marks. You don't have to show where the multiplier came from. You just have to show that you had the correct multiplier. Hopefully that's okay. I want to do thumbs up, middle down, but I guess I can't do that right now. So here's what I'm going to get you guys to do. What I'm going to show you, and I'm just going to go through it a bit slow, is 4 questions for you to try. There they are. And I'm going to get your teacher who's with you. Thank you, teacher who's covering. I'm going to get the teacher that's with you, if you're the class that's not in the computer room, to pause the video in a sec. And here's what I'm going to get you to do. I just want to see the one step that's in the yellow box, okay? So Hugh's salary is £25,000 a year. His salary is increased by 4%. Work out his new salary. I'm just going to help you with the multiplier, then I'm going to push pause. So how much does he start with? If it's £25,000, what percent of his salary is that? If that's all of it that he has to start with. That's it, 100%. He's increasing it by 4%, which means his new salary is 104% as much as it was, which is 1.04 when you divide it by 100 to turn a percent into a decimal. Cool. It's a multiplier. Now you're going to multiply by it. Cool beans, buddies. These 4 questions, I want you just to try those with 2 steps so it look just like what's in the yellow box. And are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, and you're back, my buddies. Let's see how we got on. Well, in this first one that we just started, it's just going to be this. It's the £25,000. And you're going to times it by the multiplier, 1.04. Calculators to the ready. It's going to be 25,000 times 1.04. Boom, 26,000. Not playing games. Cool. And that's the answer. See what I mean? It's a 2-stepper. It's faster. Okay, Pat pays $45 for her train fare. The train fares are increased by 9%. So here we go. It's going to be the £45 she started with. And watch me skip a step because I think you can do it now too. 45 was everything, okay? So it was 100% plus the 9% makes 109%, which has a decimal multiplier is 1.09. So 45 times 1.09 is our calculation. Times 1.09, 49.05 pounds. £49.05. Cool beans, beans, beans. There we go. Now let's do the next one. E, it says the value of a car depreciates. Oh no, you have to know what the word depreciates means. What's depreciate mean again? Well, that's right. It means that it's losing value, okay? It appreciates if it gains value. So our car is losing value, which they definitely do. This car cost £14,000 when it was new, but it's lost some value. So I'm still going to one-step it, so hopefully you'll be okay with this. Here's what we're going to do. 14,000, the number that we start with, times, because we're going to be using a multiplier. And here we go. The car used to, in the first year, have 100% of its value, but it lost 15% of its value, so 100 take away 15 means it still has 85% of its value, which means that as a multiplier is not 0.85. So in one step, we should be able to crush it. 14,000 times 0.85 makes £11,900, and that is it. And if you think about that, my buddies, this is a reason why lots and lots and lots and loads of people buy cars that are used but are kind of close to being new, because look at the discount you get from just leaving someone else to own the car for the first year or even the first 2 years. You get a really good savings that way. That's why often people buy used cars instead of new ones. Cool, cool, cool. And the final question, oh dear, and the final question is this. Sonic Generations, the best Sonic game ever, was 75% off in an online sale. If it was £18 full price, how much is it on sale for? Well, here you go. Start with how much it cost. 18. Used to before it started, it was worth 100%. So if you take away 75%, it only has 25% left. So that is going to be 0.25 that you have to times with. Cool, cool, cool. Final answer on that one then is just going to be 18. 18 times 0.25 equals £4.50, and that is your answer. So I hope that you're okay at that. I hope that you realize that you can do scratchings out if you want, like how I wrote the 85 there, and like how I showed some scratchings out up here too. All good, no problem. But when you do the questions that I'm about to set you right now, I just want to see this, like the 25,000 times the 1.04 equals an answer, okay? Use your calculator for all of them. You can do them mentally if you really want to, but you don't need to, because the purpose is just that you understand multipliers. Cool. So here is your activities, and it's a bit funny because we don't have the computer room for each of my classes, doesn't get the computer room, so you'll have to listen really carefully because I'm going to give you 3 instructions, which you're going to have to remember, okay? The first task that I want you to do is this. It looks like this. It's got letters and stuff in it like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to match the percentage increases with the multipliers that match them. So if you check out over here, question 1's on the left there, and it just says 5% increase, but it doesn't actually tell us what that matches to. So, or it doesn't tell us an increase of what, like what's the number we're increasing, it doesn't say. So here's what we have to do. If you wanted to come up with a multiplier for a 5% increase, what would the multiplier be? Well, if you started with 100%, increased it by 5%, you'd be at 105%, which as a multiplier divided by 100 is 1.05, which is down here at the bottom. So here's what you do, my buddies. You grab your pen, you connect that dot with your, you don't really have to use a ruler if you don't want to, but you can if you like. Connect them, 2 of them, just like that. And you see it went through the W? Put down a W down here. Then go find question 2, which is there. 10% decrease up here in the top right. Now, 10% decrease, we started off with 100%. So if you decrease it by 10%, you're left with 90%. Turn that into a decimal, divide by 100, 0.9. So look for the 0.9, which is there. Connect through. Bang, smash, goes through the E. The next secret letter is E. So I want you to finish that worksheet just finding multipliers. Cool, cool, cool. That won't take too long. That's going to maybe take you, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Okay, thing number 2. boring old worksheet. I want you to do the boring old worksheet, my buddies. It's going to be good for your brains. That's why I want you to do it. Just write down the answers to each of these questions with the multiplier. There's only one thing that's a bit funny, and it's the first question. So if you check it out, the percentage increase that represented by these multipliers, first one's 6%. Because it's 106 would be the percentage, which means it's 6% more than 100. This one's 43%, and so on. Here you go, the percentage decrease. This one's a bit trickier because 0.85, that's 85%, which means you reduced 100 by 15%. Cool beans, it's tricky. So that's it, buddies. Finish all of this through, and that's the second thing that I want you to do, okay? So it's only one page as well. I just printed it so you can do it 2 to 1. So just down to the bottom here, a bunch of word questions, only just showing me one step for each one, totally using your calculator. Cool beans. And then our third task, which I know that not everyone's going to get onto, which means I want you to do it with your partner. So it's 1 between 2. It's everybody's favorite thing. It's a tarsia. So I want you to make me a tarsia, buddies. Just 1 between you and your partner. This is one of the pretty ones. I'll flash to the answer really quick, but it makes a pretty egg shape like that. So you know what you're aiming for, buddies, okay? So you're going to do the tarsia, but that's 1 between 2, okay? So number 1, you're doing that matching thing where the lines go through the letters. Number 2, it's the boring worksheet, but it's good for your brains. And number 3 is the tarsia, which I don't think that everybody will finish, but I do think that some people will finish. Also, what I'd like you to do is just take a quick picture of a sample of your work that you've done today, just so that I know you're on track, and put that on Show My Homework for me. So apologies to the covering teacher, but if they could be allowed to use their phone just for the last 5 minutes of lessons just to take a sample of their work and upload it to Show My Homework, I'd really appreciate that, even though it's not technically the school rules. So that's it, buddies. Really good work. You've been awesome so far. I can hardly wait to see you guys later on this week. I know that the online lessons aren't ideal, but I'm really looking forward to seeing you again. So that's it from me. Thank you, covering teacher, and bye everybody. Bye, buddies.